ST,
dude,
for sure.
Think about it. California was like Japan, and everybody was playing the game. We had a player
Absolutely. We were hell good.
Just as good as anybody. I mean, every player at World's Finest, you see that top 20 board, every player ran their own arcade or two. And then we converged on that. It was like a secret society of, like, the super elite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, there's some fucking damn good players. No joke. It was no joke. But getting back to that question of, like, why did the OGs come back, I'll tell you why me and my brother came back. It wasn't because of money. In fact, when we decided that we were going to go to EVO this year, I didn't even know that they were going to offer that type of money. I thought like $1,000 like they did every other year, right? So we came back because the Japanese are winning. We came back because we just not take it anymore that so many people kept talking about how the Japanese are so much better, and I knew it was just a big crock of shit. And
I know. I tried telling people for years, America's ST players are just playing shitty. We just play good against each other because we're all shitty at the moment. We don't need to practice to beat everybody else. And now the Japanese game, and now America stepped it up, you know. You got Valle beating Daigo on old school. You know what I'm saying?
That was amazing. I think that was one of the most amazing wins of the entire tournament. It's the fact that
it kind of sucked because no one recorded it, but I hope someone did. Was the first one when Nelson beat Daigo to send to losers. I think that's the first time Daigo ever been sent to the losers in ST in America ever.
Oh, dude, it was great. It was great.
You know, when that first loss, I mean, you knew Daigo right there was going to get it.
I think he was excited going, dude, I'm going to whoop this dude's ass like I said I would. And he jumped the gun just a little bit one round, and Daigo came back. But
I've never seen Daigo practice in a fighting game right before a tournament. And, you know, but the minute he lost to Nelson, I mean, dude, the fool went on the computer and started playing Balrog and started practicing shit, you know? And I'm like, what the hell? You know, I've never seen Daigo do that before. You know,
he knew it was different this year. He knew it was different.
I will say one thing about it. I'm not making any excuses for him, but the fool fucked up more. I just watched that Valle match today, the third one, and dude, on the last game, I think Valle wins one round just because, and this is not a knock on Valle. Believe me, Valle will always always be a champion. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? One of the best, not the best of all time in America, straight up. I mean, you know, I got pride too, but I can admit, you know, I mean, dude, he was winning Virtual Fighter Tekken, you know what I'm saying? My boy, when he was in his prime.
Well, even Alex stated that Daigo was missing a whole lot of shit when he played.
Yeah, just watch.
But you know, I think it started off that day though. That day.
Oh my God, that's Daigo.
But see, here's what you guys here's what you guys don't know about the final day in EVO is that before he even got on the machine against Nelson or against Valle, me and Graham beat him over 30 times in in AE, over 30 games right before the tournament. We ripped him in half with the number.
This was the qualifying day.
With a number of different characters, and you know, I mean, you know what? I know he came over because we had our controller set up, and you know, we were trying to warm up before the tournament, and you know, the guy hadn't talked to us all tournament, and you know, we were hoping that we get a chance to play against him because you know he definitely is all around, I think, the best fighting game player of all time, and you know. He comes out of nowhere and brings his controller up and says, hey, can I, you know, and he has with him, he asks if he can play and practice against us, you know, to warm up for tournament. And, you know, he won the first few games, and I felt like, okay, you know, he's probably going to leave in, you know, a couple more games and he'll be gone because, you know, he's won a few games, he feels like he's warmed up. But we started beating him, and then he stayed, and then we were trading games back and forth, and we started beating him pretty bad, and he just stayed there, and we stayed all the way until the tournament actually started, and they started, you know, calling people up, saying everyone for ST tournament, come on over, because he did not want to leave. He lost that many games against us, and that has to do something to do with
the final day, or is that the day of the qualifier?
That was the final day.
Well, you see, that's what I'm saying. But Nelson beat him the qualifying day, though. To me, that's what broke him. The first. He got sent to a loser bracket in ST. I think that just snowballed from then on the entire day. He just couldn't recover, I think. That was it. I mean, then Valle beat him in third strike. You know, he was sent to a loser's bracket for the final day. You know, just one after another. He just couldn't do it.
pretty humbling.
So you guys
humbling
believe that he was pretty much unnerved by the time he got to the final match, because of.
I think when a player at his caliber who's that good and he expects himself to be that at that level, he expects to be at that level at all time, and he just loses, and he's not even in the final 8. He's not on stage, and he loses. Essentially loses back by an American. That's just that might have just totally just changed his whole mentality. He doubted his ability, I think, and it just snowballed the rest of the day. Because you see, it took until Anniversary Edition, until CVS 2 before he started to pick any kind of momentum back up. And even then, you could see he wasn't playing as solid as he was normally. And I think
on Third Strike in that Valle match, he was playing good, but you could see the clear respect he had for Alex. They footsie the whole way through. That last round was like, for anybody that knows what they're looking at was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true that.
It lasts that long.
I think he was unnerved, but I also think that in the end, I think people, I think he got beat. That's the bottom line. Is that when I played him in the exhibition match on stage, I felt like I just beat him. I felt like if you watch a videotape. And he won the second game, but then I rocked him in the third. I feel like I just beat him. I didn't feel like he made any serious blunders against me. I feel like he didn't make any huge errors, and Dawson's not going to be able to take advantage of that anyways. He just got beat. And I think that was true when he played against Nelson too. Nelson beat him. Valle beat him too.
Yeah, I think he was one. That whole day, though. After that first loss,
he got some good players out there.
And I don't think he's like a bad player where he would be like just a mediocre player after one loss, but it definitely gave him doubt. Definitely made him human looking this year. It definitely made him look like
it was.
You could definitely beat him. If you played well, you could beat him.
Now, dude.
Yeah, and hopefully this motivates all other Americans to look at it as, hey, they might be great players. They might be amazing players that win tournaments. They come to Evolution and win, Third Strike tournaments, Guilty Gear tournaments and whatnot. And dude, even the very best players can look human.
Yeah,
okay, who's got that on?
Yeah, who's that? Is that you, Apoc?
Okay.
That sounds like that's coming out of Reno. Out of Reno.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that this year's EVO was, the EVO that, we basically took it back. We just didn't lay down and die.
Definitely.
We showed
good job, Alex.
had.
Good job, Graham. Good job, everybody.
Players for CVS too.
Yeah.
That was like their biggest crew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And by the way, we can't go without this whole entire conversation without mentioning Combo Fiend and what he did.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I was just thinking about him right now too.
What?
Yeah. See, Combo Fiend was really on a tear the entire time he was there.
The Fool beat him in CVS too. Eliminated him in CVS too. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
Combo Fiend deserved mad props.
I'm not a nut licker at all, but look at that.
Yeah. No. One thing I want to say though is that I think that all the shit talking we do about we beat the Japanese, this and that. I think people have to realize though, no one here hates the Japanese players. That's pretty much what makes a tournament.
That's why it's a big deal when we win. We have respect for them as players for sure. There's no doubt. What good was your
after the tournament was over?
You know what I'm saying?
I think that night after the tournament was over, she proved that there was no beef. Alex, Nelson, Troy, Ricky, everyone was going drinking. We bought drinks for them
every time I see them.
Yeah, see, I think that's what a lot of people didn't see that. A lot of people didn't.
They're some of the coolest Mickey Piggies. Come on, dude. They just came by. Okay.
Totally.
Yeah,
KSK, American porn. You know what I'm saying? These are some cool guys.
No doubt. And like I said, that's definitely showing something that we have mad respect for them. They have mad respect for us. They're willing to hang out with us and chill and drink with us.
Oh,
and that's really cool.
Dude. They got married. You know what's different about them? Like Americans, it's like if you're not winning, you just might as well not even talk. But they'll look at individual fights and be like, okay, and they analyze a player. You know what I'm saying?
Totally, dude. She's seen Rao and Daigo go at it.
Don't have to be a second for them to go, oh, what the fuck? Damn. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, when Rao went out against Daigo, that was just crazy shit, you know? Like, those two went at it.
When Q beat Justin and Ricky, I mean, dude, they don't have any disrespect, but believe me, Americans are like, wow, I lost to Q. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, wow, Q beat some hella crazy.
I just hope we keep this up, though. I hope that next year we bring the heat again, because obviously, I mean, you know, they just got beat, their asses beat. They're not going to go back and say, okay, well that's, and they're not going to let go.
Hey, you know, if Tomo comes back and if Alex can get, you know, Thomas to come back, you know, it's definitely going to be, we're going to set up the next level. You know, we're going to bring it back to the old school days. And, you know, I hope they do bring Oto-chan and Oni-Ken and, you know, Gian and all those people, because then there is no excuse at the end who's the best player.
Vice versa. You know
hey, let me ask you guys a question right quick. Alex, how would you feel about a money match, you versus Daigo? Like, you know, the match between Duck and Sanford? What about, you know, a match between you and Daigo, or like you or whoever whoever the consensus thinks the Japanese. Like, let's say we get together with the Japanese and say, okay, choose your best player, and we'll choose our best player. We'll do a money match for, you know, however the money.
You know what? That's one of the ways it should be done. You know, among the best players, you know, win or lose, you know, we see what goes on behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In the practice sessions. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I like the fact that they did a money match for 10 games. That was kind of cool, you know, when...
yeah, you got to understand, it's a big deal that, you know, Valle and Watson, they were taking his money on third strike. That's no disrespect to Daigo, but that just shows, you know, I've always...
How much did they win?
American players, you know what I'm saying? Even though, you know, I'm a
couple hundred
competition. I've always...
Really? They won a couple hundred on third strike, huh?
Dude, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they won mad money off Daigo in third strike. Okay, now, that's personal bragging rights, dude. That's like serious honor. You know, believe Daigo's got mad respect for OGLA. You know what I'm saying? and NorCal, you know, I didn't mean to single it out, but I'm just saying, taking his money like that, you know. He was
for sure they got respect for him. But, yeah, no, you know, that's cool. You know, I don't know if I'd put up $1,000 of my own money, but you know, I mean, like if people want to back me or they want to do something like that, you know, I mean, and you guys can get some, you know, top Japanese guy to come over, you know, that'd be cool. I would just add to the excitement of the tournament. You know, from what I know, that was.
What I want to do is like travel down there and back and forth, get some practice throughout the year, and just play you guys for money. Me and Nelson versus you and Grant.
Yeah, because you know, I was just thinking that this year at Marvel. That I mean, Marvel is going to have a money match, you know. But I think that this is going to be the return of Super Turbo. There's going to be a lot of hype surrounding that, and I think that a money match between the best American and the best Japanese player, that would be. I mean, that would be very exciting.
That would be amazing.
That would be exciting.
I mean, look at Duck and Sanford. I mean, that was high. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even a Marvel player. That was high. Their antics, they were into it. You know, Duck ripping off his shirt, fucking Sanford just fucking getting his attitude on. I mean, dude, that was like, you know, that makes you a fan right there. You're like, dang, you know what I'm saying?
And even if you don't like Marvel, you know, that was amazing. You know, it was just like, wow, you know, because I'm not a huge Marvel fan.
Seriousness of the players, seriously, shit like that is what the scene is really about. People don't understand. They're like, oh, let's just practice all the time, blah blah blah. No, it's like, dude, it's serious competition. Nothing brings that out like your stinking wallet.
That means because that same atmosphere with Duck and Sanford, that was the same atmosphere between. You know, when Alex Valle was playing Daigo in third strike, that it was the same type of atmosphere. I was hearing the people, you know, because Christian, my man Ski was doing the play-by-play on that, and I remember when Alex won, when he pieced out Daigo, kicked Daigo out the tournament, it went freaking crazy.
Dude, definitely, in my opinion, I think this year AE took the cake as the best tournament finals. You know, I think every tournament, I mean, third strike was boring. You know, no one really competed against, you know, Justin and Marvel. You know, CU took two forever. You know, AE definitely was a cake. You know, was the best finals this year bar none, dude.
Yeah, no, it was
and the fact that Americans were in top two, we took the Japanese out. You know, we saw Valle beat Daigo in the final 8. Dude, I mean, you can't ask for a better final 8 than that. You know, in terms of being American.
Or maybe that'd be a match in itself. You know, maybe they might, because you know what? There's been, I mean, just like one of the reasons why Duck versus Sanford happened is because Duck beat Sanford in the pool.
Right.
And I mean, and again, I mean, it'll be, I mean, between Alex Valle and Daigo next year, I think that'd be a lot of hype around that because we know what happened this year.
There should be a 5-on-5. I think next year it's very possible to get top 5 Japanese and top 5 Americans.
Oh yeah,
I would definitely think that would be something cool. Me and Graham were talking about that. We wanted to be a part of the 5-on-5, and I think a lot of people didn't think we were good enough for a while until we started winning some tournaments to even be a part of that. But hopefully now if they have like a SP 5-on-5, you got 3 top players already, right there, Alex, Graham, and Nelson already top 3, Nelson, Troy, and then Valle, that's
Apoc,
Cole
people.
Cole, he,
Dude,
wants to
we
get in
might
there
as well
too.
make it a 10-on-10 just to solidify things. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, that's kind of
Apoc
that would be great.
Apoc in there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, that would actually be pretty cool. I would like to see that. I think the Japanese are pretty deep though. I think they're top 10. I would be willing to say that their top 10 players are probably deeper all around than our top 10 players, but not much.
According to there's 10 players that's equally as good as Daigo.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a deep field. Like when you get their top 10, it's like 10 really top-notch experts.
But I just don't think Japanese are going to bring 10 players. That's the problem. But 5 is not impossible.
The other way is all I'm saying. I mean,
they may not bring all 10
Tomo and
players.
If Tomo, Thomas, and Schaefer come back, then then we can do a 10-on-10. That'd be awesome. I'd be down for that. I definitely think we'd have a good chance.
You know what I'm saying?
What's that?
But then just imagine if Valle was the U.S. champion and then he beat Daigo. It would just mean so much more. It was like 98. That was one of the biggest things because it was the U.S. champ.
True that.
The Japanese champ. You know what I'm saying? I think EVO East and EVO West were cool, but it was kind of a waste in the sense that some people, I'm sure, went and were like, okay, we don't have a chance, and we already went to one of them. You know what I'm saying? Whereas there's a national, I think people feel like, because there's,
you didn't think they looked at it as an extra chance, or?
But there's a lot of Japan nut riders still, you know what I'm saying, like that are still believing the hype.
Right.
And it's like but when it's just a national, people think, okay, well, they have a better chance against, Americans. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a bigger.
I think Tom is going to try to get top 10 Japanese ST players in America, because you figure most of those players are really old. I mean. Like you just saw, like Oniken and Odo-chan.
They have the money to travel.
They look really. I mean, when I saw them in SBO, they look like they're in their mid-30s, early 40s.
Yeah. So
we definitely getting younger. That's what they're sure.
But hold on. But you know what? We got the Wolfe brothers. Alex and Graham. They have the Odo-chan and Oniken. They're brothers too, according to the Japanese.
Oh yeah.
They're real brothers. They play against each other all the time.
That's why they're good.
And so, we had the battle of the brothers,
Yeah, and you know what? That'd be awesome. I'd love to do that. Because I guarantee those guys are badass, Two top Japanese players that practice against each other.
It would probably be the best.
10 versus 10? Man, that's insane, though.
And brothers versus brothers.
Odo-chan, Chun-Li and Ken.
Oh, brothers versus brothers.
Like that happened, dude.
Brothers versus brothers. Oh, man, that'd be awesome.
Players practice together for a second. You feel me? They just go to more or wherever the ST arcades are.
Right.
Well, we're planning a trip probably for January, so hopefully we'll be able to get out there and NKI's got a lot of friends out there, and Daigo.
Yeah, I was talking about.
Daigo said, if we go out there, he'd show us around, show us all the arcades, and kind of introduce us to some of the top players and stuff like that.
Bring some footage back to America.
What's that?
Bring some footage back to America.
I want to do that. I'd love to do
that. Their 10 players are doing, what their players are doing. Because we always see, Daigo, Odo-chan, Odo-ken, Oniken, a couple of, just their well-known players. But I'm sure they have so many great players there, that it's nice to see what other players are playing, we've heard stories about, their T-Hawk, the stuff that T-Hawk are doing, It'd be nice to see, actually see them play.
And actually,
people play.
Have someone analyze their play and kind of let everyone know what's really going down over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, we're hoping that we get to go to a couple different, really tough arcades out there and play against some of those guys. And, I know that, I'm pretty realistic. I know I'll go over there, and I feel like my chances are pretty good to win matches, but when it gets to that level, no one really dominates. You get me, Choi, Ram and Nelson in the same room. No one's going to stay on the machine for 10 games. It's just not going to happen. You know, I mean,
well, and you also figure that in Japan it's one game. You know, it's not 2 out of 3. It's not double elimination. It's one game. You know,
that's it for the tournaments. I just one game.
That's it, man.
2 out of 3.
That's
hardcore right there.
That's too random.
That's a little too much, huh?
That's too
It
random,
is, but you know what? I mean, okay, you see, me and Eno had like a huge conversation about this, you know, and we were like, you know, why is it that the Americans are so into console tournaments, and Japan still plays arcade, you know? And Eno was saying that the reason that Japanese still play arcade is because in the arcade you actually spend money, you know, it's 100 yen, it's $1 a game, you know, in Japan just play any kind of games. You know, for players, they don't want to lose their money, so they're always playing their best at all times when they go to the arcade. When it's at home, you play casual.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's why people come to EVO too. It's not because everybody thinks they have a chance at winning. Good Lord, dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't think everybody's on drugs.
That's true.
No, but I mean, to them, they feel like
they want to play the best. Dude, even when I'm not playing, you know, that's why I go to EVO.
I mean, so to Japanese, that's the reason arcade is still surviving, is because it's a testing ground to play your very best. You know, like Eno and Boss, they were telling me that, you know, they when they go to games, they go to arcade, they have friends, they record their matches on their cell phone. So when they go home, they can analyze their matches all the time to see what they're doing.
Oh, man, dude, yeah. People used to film World Finest arcades all the time.
You know, and shit like that. I mean, that's the reason, like, you know, that's the reason why Eno, Boss, and all these players are so good. You know, they record their matches. They make sure that they understand every technique and every mistakes and every good shit that they do. You know, I just don't think that's the kind of things that I think we can implement. You know, it's simple things that can be implemented. You know, not especially with technology getting better. You know, you can record on your cell phone now. You know, it's not that hard. You know. And it is. I think it's true. You know, money matches. You know, even among friends. You know, like I know, like Jay and Nelson, and you know, I don't do it as often because you know I'm not as good as them. But you know, we sometimes play for money matches. You know, just because I mean, even a few bucks. You know, it makes you play better. Just because you know you don't want to lose $1, $2, $3, $4. You know, here and there. You know, all night long. You know, you want to play your best. You want to get your money back. You know, and it definitely makes you play better.
Well, you know what I thought would be cool for next year, and I don't know if they'll do this at EVO, but it would be kind of neat, is if they set up, you know, like a little practice area, kind of a dedicated practice area, and you had, you know, you kind of hyped certain players. So maybe you had, like, Nelson practicing on one machine, and if you're anyone and nobody or whatever, you know, maybe you're just okay, you don't really feel like you have a shot at winning the tournament. Maybe you feel like you do, or you just never played against a guy and you want a chance to play against him.
No, because then you're risking people not entering the tournament. And, you know,
what's that?
No way. You don't want that.
I don't think. I don't think.
You know, New Jack's got to build their confidence somehow. You know what I mean?
You think?
build their confidence.
I didn't think it'd have the opposite effect. I thought it'd be cool though. You know, because you get all these guys. You know, like.
That's the reason you pre-register on the EVO site because you can't back out afterwards.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you could do. Or you could, you know, if you're part of the tournament, you could only play, and you could only get in line to play like Nelson or someone else, or, you know, if you have like your EVO badge and you've actually registered for that tournament. You know,
okay, that might be cool for like a wild card entry, like after the preliminaries. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like people can buy into it, but the money goes into the pot if you play, like $1 a game or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, I mean, that's the thing though too. I think that there's
we're not gonna get huge sponsors every year. I mean, I
hope so. I hope this is the beginning of a bigger sponsorship in the future. You know, because I think it definitely shows that there's more interest now. You know.
Well,
I think
great news is
Capcom was like the show, like, you know, even Alex was saying the ceremonies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you watch Japanese tournament, it's everything around the show. You watch pro wrestling, it's everything around the show, around the event that makes the event. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like before a boxing match, they talk about the history of players, stuff like that, and everything. You know, because everything that surrounds the event is what.
That's what I kind of miss. You know, remember back in UCLA, you know, they used to have the intro song. You had to have like picture up. They list their accomplishment or saying.
Yeah.
You know, what about that? I kind of miss that at EVO anymore, you know?
Well, okay, see, to me that's a clear sign. It's like, okay, they have an agenda, but they're not trying to do everything they can do, because why would they take a step back?
Right.
You know
and I think, you know, I don't know, I think that, remember the idea back in the first EVO, when they had the championship belts, you know, shit like that.
Was
I think that was cool.
Thing ever,
it's kind of cheesy, but it's kind of cool at the same time,
Okay, I want to say something about that. You know what? What you guys brought up was a very good point. Everyone remembers the mishap on stage with Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl a few years ago. And ever since then,
with who?
With Janet Jackson, her titty popping out, and everyone saw it.
Oh, yeah.
And ever since then, that the Super Bowl halftime shows have been total shit. That's because some of them have been actually okay, but they're concerts, but they're not shows. There's a difference between a concert and a show. A concert is you listen for music. For a show, you're meant to be entertained. And I think what they should do with EVO is they need to make it less a tournament and but more of a show. I mean, to show off. I mean, Duck versus Sanford, that was a show. And that was to entertain. And we need more stuff like that because that's how you get people involved. That's how you
I think they're going to be able to do it more in the future. Just because, this year definitely proved it that they can run it efficiently. They can get their schedules, all put together correctly. And I think that's a great idea. I think that's something that, it was missing for such a long time, We used to go tournaments over the time limit. Tournaments would start later than they should have. People were running around playing multiple tournaments at the same time. But this year, the format they had this year was just perfect, So I think now they're able to put on more shows, more money matches, more grudge matches, on big screen. And I think hopefully in the future this is something that's going to continue on. Like I said, next year if Oni-Ken and Odo-chan comes together, we might have a brother tournament, brother to brother, best in Japan, best in America tournament, or we can have a 505, a Super Turbo tournament. And hopefully, hopefully now that Alpha's on console, we might have Alpha tournaments. Maybe do a Alpha 5-on-5 Part 2, because the last time it was a really close match, I think, So hopefully they can start bringing more.
Those are good ideas, and I hope they have an award ceremony next year. I mean, that was my biggest disappointment. Like, if they had done that, that would have been awesome. Some of these guys came from Japan. People flew out from all over the United States for this event. And to recognize the Japanese players when they won a tournament, to recognize the American players when they won a tournament, and to recognize people when they place very highly in the tournament from all over the U.S. To me, that's kind of like a mandatory thing that you need to do. That's one of the highest priorities if I was running a tournament like that.
Absolutely.
Would be to have a good award ceremony, trophies, announcers, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that makes everything legit. That's like, the Olympics is a good example. What do they give? They give a gold medal. Now, like any professional athlete in the world gets paid enough money to buy 1,000 gold medals. But when you win an Olympic gold medal, it's the ceremony and it's what it means that makes that such a wonderful moment. Everyone watches that. They come out, you're on the podium next to the other champions, and they award you a medal in front of everyone. So something like that needs to happen.
Maybe like a short interview. How you feel. Kind of like with the Grand Slam. U.S. Open. With tennis. You get a championship, you get your trophy. It might not have to be a medal. It could be like a small trophy. Even like I said, even like the cheesy. It's like championship wrestling belts, that they gave out the first EVO.
Oh, those are tight, dude. I didn't think there was anything cheesy about those. Those are awesome.
I thought it was hella cool. I hella wanted one, but but it's really cool. It's something you can, that you can cherish, you can show, display, and it's something that I think it'd be nice to hear who the champion is, because I think a lot of people didn't know who Alex Wolfe was, or Graham Wolfe, or Jason Nelson, or whoever. A lot of these players, people hear about Ricky and Justin. I think it's better to recognize a lot of the old school players too, because they're accomplishing stuff. They're doing it before the new players are doing it.
Well, recognize everyone too. Even recognize the old school players, recognize the new school players, recognize some of the Japanese players. See, what happens is a Japanese player will win the tournament, and everyone goes, oh, well, I can't. I don't know which one's which or whatever. I don't know them enough. It's not like Valle or someone else that you've seen so many times in so many tournaments. Everyone knows who they are.
Absolutely.
Like we should know who Anuki is, or Takedo, or these guys, especially if they place well in these tournaments and they come from halfway across the world to compete. You gotta give some credit to these guys and everyone else in the tournament that spends the time to actually train for it and come out here and make it an event, because it is an event because it's only a great event because everyone wants to be here and invest their time and money to be there. And
absolutely.
And I think that at the very least, that's what they kind of owe the players, especially, you know, if they win the event.
And you could take something off of like SBO also. You know, SBO, when they introduce the final players, you know, they bring them on stage, and before the match even starts, they ask how they feel, you know, just to give them like a, you know, pre-warm-up, you know, pre-match, you know, psych out thing, you know. I don't know, like people taunt each other. People say, you know, I'm looking forward, I have a good time, you know, I made it to the final, this is good enough, you know, made it on stage, this is really cool, you know, I don't know, I can beat him, or do it, I won't lose, you know, whatever, you know, you can talk whatever shit you want to say on stage, you know, but at least give everyone that actually could make it to the top 8 some chance to speak and to get known, and for people to recognize their accomplishments, you know, rather than just say, hey, so-and-so and so-and-so play, you know.
Well, here's a good example. Afro Legends got into the final 8 in ST.
Right.
And that guy's a damn good player. Now, how many people know that guy's, you know, really good at ST? I don't know, because, you know, there was no, you know, timeout to kind of, you know, introduce him, kind of pick his brain, see what he was thinking, and where he practiced, who he plays with, and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I mean, unless you're one of the top players in the tournament and you know that you're going to have to face him, the general public's not going to know too much about these players and kind of like, you know, get any insight onto who they are and how they got to that level. Which I think would be pretty interesting.
I think there's definitely rooms for improvement. There are rooms for stuff to make Evolution better. I think, but the one thing this year that, you know, the efficiency of how they made their tournaments run was definitely a big priority, and I'm glad that they got that done now. You know, and hopefully in the future, you know, they're going to have more stuff to really get to know the players, you know, get a little bit more personal, you know. Yeah.
No, I mean, props to the Cannons. I mean, you know, I don't know, some people have their beef or whatever, but bottom line is that, you know, them and everyone at SRK, you know, they put the time in and they made the shit happen. So, you know, I mean,
and I think, you know, like, I think Jay and I mean, I've gotten banned from SRK before, and I know Jay's gotten banned before in SRK, you know.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, we bitch a lot about, you know, shit that could be done better or whatnot, but you know, at the end of the day, dude, we love this scene so much. That's the reason we probably voice our opinion more than anything else, you know.
Yeah.
And definitely, and you know, but at the end of the day, dude, mad props to the Cannons, mad props to everybody in SRK, you know, for doing what they do and for continuing this year after year. You know, I mean, you can't ask for anything more, you know. But you know, there's always room for improvements, and you know, I hope SRK realizes that, you know, it's the players that, you know, that voice out their opinion the most that's really going to help them grow. You know, it's not going to be, you know, and you're right. There are some people that just bitch to bitch, you know, but there are players that are bitching, or people that care about the scene enough that they're bitching because they want to see it succeed. They want to see it reach to the level where FPS is right now, you know, with getting TV sponsorships and all this and that, you know, that maybe one of these days, you know, you can see, you know, Evolution on TV. You know, that'd be great. You know, that'd be an accomplishment in itself, you know. And SRK has the best chance of doing it, you know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, actually, you know, to kind of touch on that is that, you know, I think that, you know, the thing is that these guys, they're putting a lot of time and effort into it, and I think what would kind of make it get to that next level a little faster is if, you know, some of the players themselves, or you know, other people that weren't necessarily part of the SRK staff were able to, you know, help out with the event. So maybe, you know, because who knows if you have a connection with someone that does trophies, or maybe someone that does TV or whatever. But as long as they're kind of open to other people helping out, I think that it'll grow a lot faster, and I think the event would be an even bigger success than it already is.
Yeah, I mean, I heard earlier that there's like 40,000 members on SRK. I mean, God, 40,000 people, I'm sure there's someone that knows the media, you know. There's someone that knows the scene or has some kind of connection, you know. And if they really appreciate SRK, you know, they should definitely step up. I think that's definitely important, you know.
Yeah, as long as they're open to people helping out, and you know, and then that way no one can bitch and complain. If someone wants something to happen, and they propose an idea, and those guys are like, hey, that's cool, it sounds good, you know, can you take charge, and can you kind of like, can you run that? Can you make sure that happens? If you can make sure that happens, hey, we're behind you 100%. And, you know, then I think that you hear, you know, I think you hear less complaints, and I think that you'd see a better event. You know, it was great this year. I was blown away. I mean, I was in awe that they were able to get that room and all the money and all the, you know, everything set up like that. But I mean, I think it would be like even the next level after that if more people contribute if they wanted to.
I mean, the fact that it was at Red Rock Station, which is like probably the most beautiful hotel in Vegas
that
right now. It's just amazing. You're like, wow, it's almost as if we don't deserve a place that beautiful right now.
When I got there.
Actually, I heard a complaint about that. I heard that Red Rock, it was pretty nice as far as the accommodations, but they said they were sticklers about noise, so like people were thrown out because they were too noisy during the during the casual matches.
There was more shit than just noise. I mean, I know that one of the guilty rooms had like 20 players or 40 players in the room. When you have 40 people in a two queen size room, it's going to get noisy, and there are people there there to visit the casino and to stay at the casino, not for Evolution. So I can understand why there were people getting kicked out. There was shit that was going on at one of the rooms I was at. This stupid shit. And you're definitely, if you're going to be stupid in the casino like Red Rock, and you're a minor and you're drinking, or if you're doing drugs or you're doing whatever, and you get caught, security's going to get involved and you're going to get in trouble. Shit like that's going to happen, and it's unfortunate. But hey, people there to have fun. Shit's going to happen, and I don't think it's Red Rock's fault, and I don't think it's it's the players' fault either. It's just the environment, and you're at the tournament, you're hyped up. Dude, I see like Alex and Greta maybe twice a year. I see Alex Valle maybe once or twice a year. It's going to be those times where you just want to hang out and party, and sometimes it does get rowdy. Sometimes you do shit, you're not, it's not right, but you just do it just because, it's fun, and people are going to get kicked out, people are going to get in trouble, but hey, it's, I mean, people that complain about that, I mean, it's like, I think there's a couple of things you got to realize. Number one, it's a 5-star hotel. I mean, I shouldn't have to say much more than that. It's a 5-star hotel. If you think it's the freaking, Holiday Inn and you can bring your 40s to the room and, like, be crazy, you can't. It's a 5-star hotel, exactly.
And that's really the bottom line. So, I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's great that everyone's, like, hanging out and everything like that, but I think the people that, security had to come to their rooms, they know what's up, dude. I mean, it's the Red Rock Casino, dude. It's one of the nicest resorts out there. You can't be a dumbass.
Yeah.
So, again, I mean, I think that it's a learning experience. It's the first time I think they've had an event in a place that nice. So it's kind of a little new to all of us. I mean, we're all used to just hanging out playing Street Fighter, wherever, and just kicking it and having a good time, getting drunk and being rowdy, and usually it's not in a 5-star hotel. So.
Right.
I mean, next year,
like I said, it's almost as if it's too much for us, It's almost
and when I walked in there, I was like, holy shit, like, what do we do? We're here for a Street Fighter tournament. I was like, I can't believe it. Like, it's like paradise,
That's exactly what I said, too. I was like, holy shit. This is way too nice for us. Do they realize what this is about?
Dude, seriously, I was like, I looked at Graham and I was like, this is just not right. Like, how are we able to play Street Fighter here? Like, do they know what's going on? Like, I wanted to ask the staff at the Red Rock, like, do you know what we're doing here? Like, you just gave, like, this huge, nice, ballroom out so we could play a Street Fighter tournament. But, I mean,
exactly, seriously. and you know what's awesome is that, and the fact that, Red Rock's owned by the Station Casinos, so, last year when we had it at Green Valley, they had it at Green Valley, those are owned by Station Casinos, so it's not like Station Casinos had no idea what these events are doing, So it's obviously we're doing a good job. SRK is doing a good job, securing these nice events at these nice hotels. So I mean, to an extent, I mean, Station Casinos know what we're doing, but they're giving us the opportunity. They're giving us the floor space. I think it's great. I mean, it's amazing. I love it. I
wanted to stay longer. I would have stayed a whole week.
Seriously.
That shit was crazy. I mean, I walked into my room, and I'm, like, going to use the bathroom. My toilet seat opened for me automatically. There was, like, a remote control to use it. I had to spend time to learn how to use my toilet because it was that advanced. I mean, dude, this place is no joke.
And you had TV in the bathrooms,
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. People were talking about bathroom matches. I'm like, bathroom matches?
Dude, Alpha 1 was played. It was done, and the finals were done in the one of the room's bathroom. Because that's the only TV that had no lag. like the main TV had lag on PlayStation, so but for whatever reason the bathroom TV had no lag, so that's what everyone played it on.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. We couldn't get it set up on the big TV, but I mean that was okay. I mean, well, we walked in the room and there's like a 50-inch flat screen plasma TV on our wall. I thought they made a mistake. I was like, did we get the right room? You know, floors made of marble. It's like, you know, you got this huge like nice tub with TV in your bathroom. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, holy shit, was that place nice?
I got
seriously.
I have something to pass by you guys. I told Alex this already, but the AlphaISM Radio has been approached by one of the people that work for tsncentral.com, and they want to feature AlphaISM Radio for, you know, they want to have a fighting game section of their site. They want to add one, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, and so I mean I'm very excited about it because I talked to Matt, you know, the guy that contacted me. He says that it's a great opportunity for, you know, exposure to, you know, to other mainstreamers, you know, try to bring fighting games back into the mainstream.
Isn't TSN like a huge FPS station?
Because they do broadcast. They're one of the largest. Like it's like them and one other company does the largest podcast, shoutcast, video streaming of large, you know, PC gaming events.
Yeah.
And I mean, and apparently, you know, they're interested in bringing fighting games, doing fighting games too, because they're believing, like we believe, that there's going to be resurgence of fighting games, you know, interest on consoles, because all of a sudden we're now getting all these great ports of earlier games, and I'm sure that there's going to be some new games come out in the future, and they want to be in the forefront. They want to be the frontier on that. So
that's awesome, but Bunkai.
What?
You know what that means, right?
What?
There's no more foot job talking on your radio station.
Well, you know what? We actually talked about that. Believe it or not, what happened is this. He's saying that as far as
you ready to tell Valle to calm down because he's gotten pretty well on Alpha Radio.
No, they said that when it comes to radio,
on Alpha Radio. He's crazy.
They're not as strict. They're not as strict on the radio as it would be if they were actually covering a live event. If they were covering like a live event, and you're interviewing people, you have to be like super professional. But on the radio, he's saying that you can get away with a lot. So it may not be.
That's cool. That's definitely, dude.
But
I think he's saying he's going to support the movement.
I need you guys' help though, because if this goes through. And they have me designated for a slot. I need like all of the top players to call in because I need as much support as I can because now this radio
you can definitely count Valle. You can definitely count Duck.
Yeah, I mean I spoke to Alex Valle, spoke to Duck, I spoke to Alex Wolfe, and I mean they're all on.
Yeah, I'm in.
You know, the only people that I haven't been able to get in contact with is I haven't gotten into contact with anybody that's like part of the Tekken scene. Or a part of the virtual fighter scene. I haven't talked to because I don't know anybody.
Yeah, you should try to get a hold of like Gin Master, you know.
Oh God, no.
What's
as much as you might hate him, and you know, and what.
No. I think it's funny that you just used his name first. I'm not hating on the guy or anything. I think he's good. Like, yeah, I respect his game. You know, even though he's not the best like player around. You know, he's got.
Oh, totally, I know.
Well, that's great.
But he's definitely, you know, he has a personality. You know, I got to talk to him a little bit, you know, at EVO, and you know, the guy has a personality, you know, and he definitely would do good on the radio. I think he would have at least some good voice, and he's controversial enough that you definitely get people talk about shit, you know,
right?
Kind of like DSP, just a lesser extent, you know.
Right.
Did he give you a trading card?
No, my God.
That's just crazy.
That's fun shit.
But you know, I was just saying, I think this is going to be great because it means that next year, if I'm working at TSN Central, it's a practical guarantee that I'll be at EVO next year. And instead of me doing it from home, I'll be doing the radio station. Well, see, they already done it. They showed me the setup. They can stream the matches over the internet. You know.
Wow. But you're going to have to somehow get that approval from Tom, you know, because they're going to do
obviously going to need to get their approvals and everything. But man. Could you imagine, you know, the turnout? I mean,
that
would
be
huge. Great, you know. And they got
totally,
a lot of sponsors too. So I mean,
and not just that, but I mean, if you can go, like, you know, I think that's the other thing that the thing that's kind of missing also. I mean, no disrespect for EVO, but you know, there's so many great regional tournaments in America, like ECC, you know, the Final Round, Texas Showdown, Midwest Championships, you know, that are just not sponsored. It's not, like advertised as much as Evolution is, and I think players are just not going to those big tournaments enough. Maybe Texas Showdown, but that's about it. Like I know like Jason Wilson has done such a good job in the Midwest, and I can't believe he's still running it with such low turnouts. But Midwest Championship, I remember back in the day, it was like the biggest thing. Midwest Championship was the biggest thing. People like Valle, Troy Watson, they would go there. And it would hold 100-man tournaments, If you look at the history, go on, like, Google and look at the...
I've heard of that. I've heard of the Midwest Championships, Texas Showdown, ECC. My brother went to ECC one year, so, yeah.
Yeah, but
I know about all those.
People, I think there's a lot of gamers who are still, like, arcade players at heart, and, Midwest Championship has been true to its word, It's always been all, like, 99% arcade, and... they just don't get the exposure like they used to, because it's not SRK. They're not SRK friendly, And I think those events, if
kind of
Bunkai can go to those events and telecast his TSN network on those events, dude, that'd be awesome. I think it'd definitely bring more players out to these regional events, rather than just EVO West, EVO East, and EVO Finals,
Yeah, maybe I'll go out to one of those events and try to win, one of the Texas Showdown. That'll be a good excuse for me to go out and visit one of my friends. Used to play ST, old school player, my friend Gino, who lives out there. Yeah, but I'd be down to do one of those tournaments. I've never been out to one of the, I've always heard of ECC and Texas Showdown and Midwest Championships, but I just haven't had the time to be able to fly out to one of those places and play in those tournaments. I think Graham's done it a couple times, but I'd love to do that.
I mean, just think about Midwest. You have Jesse Howard, Wes, and a couple other players that they don't fly off to Evolution very often, So
did they not come out this year or what?
They didn't come out this year. No, they came out a couple years back, but they didn't come out this year.
What was the reason?
There's some old school competition there that I'm sure you haven't played in forever,
Yeah, and I played against Jesse Howard I think one time. Well, I think it was at that Alpha regional tournament for the national. But yeah, I remember that name, and I'm surprised he wasn't at EVO. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, there's still great players. There's many great players all over the country that that maybe just can't go to Evolution, but they do go to those regionals, and hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully, like I said, with Bunkai, hopefully you can bring your shows to those events, and get people out to those events. I think tournaments are fun,
Right.
At the end of the day, it's just fun. It's a great place to meet a lot of players that you don't meet every day. You just see online, you see people post or on IRC, and it's one of those things. It's just great to see those people, and play those people for fun, even if it's just casuals,
Right. Because don't get me wrong. I'm no good of a player. If you think I can play games, I know how to play Street Fighter. About as well as a computer can play. So don't expect anything miraculous. But don't get me wrong.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Well. Okay, then I think
because I don't think I can beat the game on One Life for ST. That's freaking hard.
Oh my. All right. Well, let me take that back.
You're gonna have to Apoc cam that one.
Yeah, I think that it'd be great though, because like I said, going to EVO next year would be great because I get a chance to meet a lot of the people I've met since I did EVO, on here on the radio station, and to do it again for the radio live from the station, being able to stream, video, of course, with the Canon's permission. This could be great. It'd be a lot of great exposure for us. Try to get it back in the mainstream. We're supposed to have this digital live tournament going out in October, and it's supposed to have 2 fighting games there. We still don't have what 2 fighting games there are. The consensus seems to be Third Strike and Marvel, but they might throw Tekken 5 in there somewhere.
Well, Digital Light has gotten so much bad press. I think that I think it's just people that live in the East Coast that are probably going to go.
Right.
I don't know. Valle might go, and a couple other players might go. But it won't bring out the people. The people that came out for Evolution. Just for one, they didn't give us enough notice, and 2, just the bad press about how late it took for them to pay anybody back, for their winnings. Kind of hurt their reputation, kind of like MLG, MLG. It's one of those things that what they did was kind of wrong. And they should have. For kind of organization that they're running and the kind of people that they're trying to promote, they should have done a better job. Because, MLG could have been a great thing. It could have been a great start for fighting game community, to sync themselves up with FPS, in terms of consoles games. But they kind of screwed themselves over,
Well, hopefully this year will be. Next year, we'll see a lot of great things happening, and I really do mean that.
Yeah, well, I was saying, what I was saying is that hopefully, if you do work for TSN, that you're not going to just subject yourself to just Evolution, or like Digital Life, Try to go to these other great events also,
Well,
and try to get them hyped up.
Well, I don't know. I haven't met with their boss yet. I have to interview with the boss there. But from what I understood is, if I'm going to be doing a fighting game portion, I guess any major fighting game tournament or a tournament that features fighting games, I might be going there because he's been telling me they fly people all over the world. In fact, Matt is going to London to cover a tournament.
Hey, record SBO, dude. Go to SBO.
Oh, that would be great. I would love to the opportunity to go to Japan and oh man, that would be great. That would be absolutely wonderful.
That happens in March, dude. March and April, I think, somewhere around there.
It would be a dream come true for an average video game fan like myself to go and actually see this live because it's never happened for me before. I've been to 3 small tournaments. I've never been to a major tournament. So, that would be a dream come true. That's speaking from the heart because I would love to see something like that, and I love to meet the people because it's all about the people for me. If you're one of the greatest players, but you're an asshole, I really can't give a shit about you. I don't care if you're an asshole.
Hey, don't worry, DSP isn't one of the greatest players, right? I said DSP isn't one of the greatest players, right?
Moving on. Let me just talk about
the streak continues at 1.
At least you guys don't live in the same state as him.
God. I would totally avoid him though.
Or as far as his skills is concerned, because his skills, he has skills. There's no doubt about that. It's just that he hasn't said a lot of good things about the radio. He has a very negative attitude, at least towards the radio station. And he says it's constructive criticism. I said he's just
he's jealous.
Yeah, I don't know if it's jealousy or he's just doing it on purpose just to be an ass. I don't know.
And not just, he talks a lot of talk, but in real life he's very, very casual, very mellow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People say he's a great person in real life, and so but online he's a different persona, and I don't know why he does that, but that's.
But I have to say this though.
What?
Even with all the shit talking he does, though, he didn't want to accept a money match with Apoc, which I thought was kind of funny because Apoc.
He would have lost. He would have lost in ST if he played Apoc. He would have lost.
Right, he told. Apoc even told him, "I would tell you what character I was going to use."
He would have lost. He would have lost. I'm not saying that because I don't have anything against DSP at all. Actually, I met the guy at EVO, and Graham goes on the forums and talks a lot, and he's like, oh, yeah, this guy's kind of funny because they call him the King of Hate, and he always writes, these, crazy, things online, but he backs his shit up, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And now when I met him in person, I was like, he's, really chill. He was a cool guy, got a chance to play against him, seemed pretty nice or whatever. But, in all honesty, I played against him quite a bit before tournament. I played against Apoc. I've known Apoc for years. Apoc would beat him.
Right. No different. I met DSP, and like I said, I was totally blown away with a different personality he is in real life than he is on the radio station. So, but I just want to bring that out.
So that being said, there's only one way to know for sure if Apoc would be DSP. So,
the money match.
Money match. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a lot of money. It's more about the pride. Play best out of 7 games or best out of 10 games and see who really is better.
Well, we know AlphaISM Radio is home of the side bet, according to Bunk.
I think AlphaISM. I think the radio station is a great idea. It's a great new medium that hopefully more people get involved. Because it's definitely something that it's great to have a website like SRK and like Tekken Zaibatsu and Dustloop, but dude, it's definitely, we need more medium, and this is a great medium, if it sets up money matches and grudge matches and, more having good players spreading their, their strategies on the radio, dude.
Yeah.
You can't beat that,
Yeah, I don't know why there would be anything negative about the radio. Yeah, it's hella cool. Because, you think about it, it's better than just reading like 50 lines of text or something like that. You actually get to hear people's personalities. You get to hear their insight. You get to hear them talk with other people. And
you can ask questions
it's so much more real than just looking at some text online, So
yeah, there's no 240-second rule between posting.
Yeah,
that's all good.
Okay. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, I find it ridiculous waiting, 4 minutes, just to post something. It's ridiculous.
Hey, that's
I think they have to do that for like bots or something like that.
Yeah, and I understand why. It's just, leave it to the few to spoil it for the many, but.
I honestly think Wizard made a big mistake, not to promote you, I thought he thought the medium was going to die really quickly, and it just didn't. It just grew.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
To set the record straight on what happened with Wizard, I asked him when I first started the show. The first person I was going to have was Duck, because Duck was the former EVO champion for Marvel, and he was one of the first people to yeah, I'll go on the show. And I asked Wizard, him hey, would you mind sticking a thread about this radio show? I'm going to be interviewing Doug, ask him how he feels about this year's EVO, so forth and so on. And first he goes, maybe. I'm like, well, I kind of need a yes or no on it because, I'm going to be, the interview is going to be happening tomorrow night. And he goes, well, it's like, it doesn't really matter. You're going to do it anyway. It really doesn't matter, And I go, okay. And I'm like, well, I was just hoping to do something for the community, but never mind, And that's really
that's a bad attitude.
Yeah, that's the wrong attitude. I especially I heard the Canon gave him full reign of SRK, and he should be more like Valle, which is like more wanting to promote, wanting to advance the scene, and
looking for options.
Sole person, if he's a sole person running SRK, and he's like the supermod and whatnot, he should be spending more time and dedication in seeing ways to improve, the community, because he does have if he is, if he is the only person, he has a huge responsibility, to keep this community alive, to keep, SRK going, and he should support any great ideas, or especially new ideas, whether it fails or succeeds, it should be something
I think everyone should support that. You think about it, it's like, whether you're like a great fan or not, maybe you don't think everything about it's like, the way you want it to be or perfect. There could be some things that change, but, it's a start, and and it'll grow into something good, and it's just another way to get the word out there and to get people involved and, having a good time and playing the game and stuff like that. So maybe you're not a big radio fan, but, you should still offer your support for that.
Absolutely.
It's just like, I like to post on the forums every once in a while, but it's hard for me to do that all the time. Some people love it, but, do I think they're a good thing? Yeah, they're great because people are kind of getting together and they're collaborating and stuff like that. So, just same way I think like the radio's cool, and if they had TV too, that'd be cool too. So,
yeah,
I think people got to support all these new.
Either Wizard or Canon or someone, can from SRK can suck up their guts, instead of and come on and I don't know if they should apologize or whatnot, but at least lend their support, to really really open up to not just the community,
Actually, the thing about I don't even know if the Canons even know about the radio station. To be honest with you, I don't even.
Well, like I said, it's because from what I've heard, that Wizard has full reign of SRK. I think they just provide the setup, and they run Evolution. But I think Wizard is like the person that does everything for SRK now. He should suck it up. He should realize that that he was wrong, and need to come on, or he could just private message you, say, hey, I think what you're doing is good. It was my mistake in the beginning. I really want to support your radio station on SRK.
Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. You can ask FMJ. You can ask some of the other ops. They will tell you that the odds of him actually doing that are like next to none.
Well, then he's going to kill the scene. He's going to single-handedly can hurt the scene more than anybody else if he's going to do this every single time. If he can't suck it up and admit his mistake, his fault, when it's his fault, he's going to hurt the scene more than help it.
Well, he doesn't even. The thing is like at this point, he doesn't even need to. He doesn't even need to admit that he did anything wrong. He just needs to actively try to help promote it. And I think that in itself is that's going to do more than any apology or any type of, admitting anything. If he just says, hey, look, I mean, hey, whatever, it seems like a lot of people are into this now. A lot of the top players kind of went onto this radio show. They've done, spent some time on it, and people are listening. So, hey, why not just throw up a link? It's not going to hurt anyone.
I mean, that would be great, But it definitely helps support the scene, because the scene isn't that big yet, and it always can get bigger. And anything that can help support the scene is always a good thing,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because as far as the radio show is concerned, I mean, to me, it's still a rather small show, but hopefully with with the TSN that it would get bigger. But I'm happy because during EVO there was over 250 people listening. In fact, FMJ helped me out by getting a second server up because I basically topped off on my server, and it was great. It was great. People loved it. I got so many emails. Some people telling me it was great coverage and they really liked it.
I mean, that just goes to show you that there's at least 200 people that didn't go to EVO about SRK Radio, and there are, I'm sure, dozens, maybe about 100 more at Evolution that knew about SRK Radio anyway, but they were there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to listen,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you have a huge following, dude.
Yeah, because I mean I don't know what's all going to be involved. I mean I probably will talk to them sometime before the week is out, and I'll let you guys know. Because like some of you guys I have on AIM, some of you I don't. I want to get as much people within contact as I can, and I'll let you go. I'll let you guys know what they say because because obviously I'm talking to you guys first, especially those of you who really went to EVO and did well, is because if mainstream people, especially PC gamers, start looking at it, if there's any interest, I want to foster that interest. And with Alex, this is great because Super Turbo is coming out on Capcom Collections Classic Volume 2 in November, and and I think it's going to see the same revival that Third Strike did when it came out, on what was it, part of Anniversary Edition, or was it I forgot which game it was part of. But Third Strike got a revival out of it because it was a great port. It was a lot better than the Dreamcast port, and I think we're going to see the same thing with the PlayStation 2 version that's coming out here soon.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that to come out. It's gonna be cool. I'll be one of the first people to get it. I know Graham.
Even with all the bullshit of AE, though, I still like AE a lot. Though I mean, if Super Turbo isn't as great as it's made out to be, shit, I wouldn't mind another year of AE, even with all the bullshit of
AE was fun in the sense that there were so many new matches that you had to learn, which was kind of cool, actually.
Exactly.
I played a lot. The best game that I was, the game I was the best at was Super Turbo by far. I felt like that was definitely my game, but I played all the other versions and I knew all the other characters, so that was cool too because I played since World Warrior. And so having to learn all these new matches and rediscovering different characters from different versions, it's fun.
And I hope also, people who were at EVO, and I hope when they saw when you play and when Nelson play and Graham play, that it wasn't going to be all CE Guile and CE Bisons. We saw a variety of characters in the finals in top 8. That as long as you play well and you really put your heart into the game. There's many characters that can compete at that level, and still make it to the stage, and
yeah.
Then a lot of people complain about AE that it was all about CE Bison, and yeah, Tokido did really well against a couple great players, but at the end of the day, the final 2 players, you had a Dolly and you had a Super Turbo Bison, playing in the finals, not CE Bison.
Good Super Turbo Bison. The thing about it is I think that unfortunately CE Bison is so good in that game, but so that's one thing you got to do. You got to know how to beat him. You got to know how to counter CE Bison, and it's just another aspect of the game. But there's a lot of cool things. Some people play Shoto characters like Choi or Daigo, and if you bust out like World Warrior Dawson, you're going to beat a Shoto pretty easily. So. It's like weird matches like that that are just in the game, or hyper fighting Zangief. He's really good against different characters, and you can literally spend hours on that game because there's so many different combinations. And that's one thing I did like. But when Super Turbo comes out, it's going to be great too. So either way, I'm going to be at EVO next year, and it's going to be fun.
I mean, I can't wait. I mean, that's the bad thing though. This EVO was really so good. I mean, it's a shame we gotta wait another 11 months before it comes around again. Because, I mean, I'm still hyped about it. You know, it was great. It was a great experience. And think about it. I get such a hype out of it, and I wasn't even there. You know, I mean, imagine if I was actually there. I mean, but like I said, I'm making. I
can't wait to hear from you when you go to your first nationals, dude.
Oh,
when
man.
you go to one of the huge regional, because the experience is nothing else, dude.
Right.
You know, I have a friend of mine from California. You know, you talk to Spiritus, you know, and I talked to one of his friends today, and he was telling me that he's planning on going to like different regional events, and I'm like, you know, as a gamer, that's the huge step right there, because you know it's a totally different experience than just playing people in your local arcade or playing just a small tournament. Like if you're from NorCal, you know, playing Sunnyvale tournaments, or if you're from SoCal playing FFA tournaments, but you go to like ECC or Midwest or Texas Showdown, you know, the experience is just amazing when you go there, you know.
Yeah, it's electrifying. I mean, put it this way, EVO West was my first. EVO West is probably the biggest tournament I've played in my life because, you know, the first big tournament I've really played that's had that many people at it, and you know, I just remember the energy when I was playing against Valle for a spot in the finals. I mean, people were just going nuts. I mean, there were so many people standing up, going crazy and yelling and everything like that. I mean, it was like, you know, it was unlike anything I've ever experienced in Street Fighter. I mean, it's you know, you don't see those kind of crowds. You don't see that kind of energy. And then when I went to EVO finals in Vegas, I mean, you know, there was just a sea of people. I mean, there's just tons of them. And I didn't even realize how many people were in the crowd until I looked at some of the pictures on Flickr, on James Chen's site, and I mean, it's just so many people like spectating. You're on the stage, and you know, you got these two huge screens next to you, and you look out, and the crowd's just going nuts. You know, when they announce your name, and people are cheering and going crazy. I mean, you can't experience that in any local tournament. It's like a one of a kind experience for sure. Cool.
Yeah, I honestly, I really can't wait until if I get a chance to cover a large event, and you know, hopefully, you know, next year it'll be a lot better than this year. You know, I always look for improvement with anything, so hopefully next year you will top this year, and hopefully we'll see more of a turnout. I know that next year the Japanese really going to bring it. Of course, we're going to bring it again. Return of Super Turbo. I hope that this team money match thing for Super Turbo works out. I think that would be great, because that'll be the only game. Well, I mean, I guess we could do that in Third Strike, but I mean, I think we have a deeper pool with Super Turbo than we do with Third Strike, and so, I mean, I would like to see, you know, a team money match, you know, with even the top 5 or top 10 for both Japan and America. And wow, you know, I think it would be a true test for us, you know, but if we can practice on it, I'm sure that we'll do fine.
Yeah, I like what Nelson said about like that whole like Japanese versus American thing. Is he said you got to play your own style. You know, Americans need to play their own style, and I mean, I don't think maybe some people don't understand what that means, but basically, I think for the last few years, people have been seeing these Japanese videos of people playing Super Turbo or other games, and
like
they basically just
98.
They basically just try to mimic, you know. Yeah, they try to mimic the style down to the T, and it's like you're not going to beat the best Japanese players with their own tricks. They're going to destroy you if you bring that to the table. They're going to have seen it so many times. You're not surprising anyone, and you're certainly not surprising them. Probably the better thing to do is to learn those tricks, study those videos, know how to counter them, and know how to get out of them, but then develop your own style if you really want to beat some of those top players.
Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's one of those things that I think the media thing that kind of hurt the American scene a lot is that, you know, like, I mean, if you I don't know, I mean, very few people I think are online now that was at, you know, the Alpha 3 Nationals when Valle played Daigo for the first time, you know, but back in the day, there was no such thing as a custom combo, you know. Valle's custom combo with Ryu was a mix-up of, you know, 4 or 5 good hits, but they all did full damage. You know, it wasn't a combo. You know, I mean, you have people like, you know, Graham and Cole and Nelson playing, you know, Extra Lento and, you know, dolly, you know. Yeah, exactly. You know, and it was style that wasn't seen because we had no video footage from Japan. Or at least the majority of the public didn't, you know. And when we played against Daigo, dude, I mean, if it was a Japanese tournament, Daigo would have lost. You know, it was one game. The first game, Valle beat Daigo. You know, yeah, Daigo came back, and people can make all the speculation, you know, whether he was holding back or not. But you know, even after that, you know, Daigo played against Graham, and Graham beat him. You know, and it's one of those things that was American style. You know, the American style, you know, was different from the Japanese. You know, Japanese play head-to-head cabinet. American play side by side. There's more psych out, more mind game involved. You know, that the Japanese are not comfortable with. You know, but we see so many videos now. You know, of perfect combos and perfect gameplay and perfect this and Japanese this and Japanese that. You know, that we try to mimic this to a T. And I agree with like what Alex is saying is that, you know, we need to go back to playing American style, you know, our style, you know, what we think will work, you know, not just look at Japanese videos and say they're right, we're wrong. There's no way we can make it better because there's always room for improvement.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, that's the thing is that you see like all these great combos and everything like that. Look, that you know what? Those are real fancy and those are real great, but that's not necessarily going to win you a tournament. You know, what's going to win you a tournament is knowing how to counter people, you know, how to counter their tactics, their strategy, their style, how to counter that. You don't have to adapt. You don't have to know how to do their style. You don't have to be able to play like them. You just have to know how to beat them. And that's the most important thing. That's what people should be doing when they watch these videos to say, hey, you know what, you're not going to get that combo on me, or, oh, okay, that's a pretty cool trick, but here's a counter for it. You know, it's not going to work when you bring that over from Japan. But instead, you see people invest a lot of time. Like, oh, okay, let me waste my time and learn this combo that I'll never get off in tournament when I could actually be practicing and trying to get better at the game and maybe actually win some matches. So that's what I think people have kind of taken.
Is that we have so much of their videos. They have very little of our videos. You know, we can easily.
Whoa.
Hello? Oh,
yeah.
What happened there?
The phone died? I guess.
Looks like you lost the phone. The phone people.
You guys got him loose by accident, huh?
I don't know. I guess his phone died.
Sabotage.
Man.
Well, we still got someone.
Yeah, we still got Alex here, and we got.
He's, you know, I mean that's really just the point is that you know, I think that people are they're too impressed by watching combos. And that's the reason why guys like, I mean, if you watch Nelson play and how he beat Daigo, he didn't do any fancy combos. He just hit him with, you know, counters and mix-ups, and that was it. And that's how he beat him. Mm-hmm. And that's what ST is about. ST is not about doing huge combos. ST is about outthinking your opponent, you know, and countering your opponent. And if you want to be a top player, you want to beat some of the best, you have to learn those things, not some fancy combos. Because, I mean, realistically, every character, or most of them, have some 3-hit combo that takes off half your life. So what more do you need to know than that? You know?
Wow. That's a good point. And it's like that you had Alex Valle's spirit there, because I heard him say the same thing. It's like, you know, people copy the Japanese too much. You're not going to beat them with 3-month-old strategy that you saw in a combo video, you know, on YouTube. You're not going to beat them with that. And I mean, that was great points. That's points I take for myself too, because even though I'm not a top player or anything like that, but I know that if I do start playing, then I know that to develop my own style, and I will.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too is that people don't understand that what they're watching sometimes isn't even good play. You know, I've watched a lot of Japanese videos where I'm like, oh, those are pretty nice combos, but I'm like, God, these guys suck. You know, this is horrible play. Like, you guys playing the match all wrong. Like, you know, if you play like this and you play against a guy that knows how to play a certain match, you get perfected or you'll get destroyed. And they're playing certain matches fundamentally wrong. But people are watching that, and they don't, you know, they're not good enough to know what's going on, so they try to mimic it. So you got to be careful on what you try to copy, because it may look fancy, but it could be way off. You could be making your game a lot worse. I think people, you got to keep that in mind. You know, not all these Japanese players, and from what I've seen, there's a lot that don't know how to play certain matches or play them kind of backwards. you know. And I can say that, you know, having played against one of their best players, Daigo, and you know, I think that when you get to that level, though, those guys know what they're doing. But you know, just any Japanese video that you see, you kind of have to be a little more cautious, I think. You know, just trying to adapt and.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100% because I think that I don't know. I mean, it's something that I've noticed, and I think that some of that thinking but I guess I see this thinking a lot with Marvel because I see it all the time with people copying other people's you know strategies and or their moves or their combos, and they don't understand the reason why they're doing a combo, and they wonder why you know they're not as successful as the person whom they're copying. And well, Marvel. My thing about Marvel is I don't have the execution, you know, to do. I mean, I don't have the hand-eye coordination. I don't have the reflexes, the reaction timing. I can play just a little bit slower pace, you know. That's why I want to get in Super Turbo because at least
play Korean CE, Bunky.
Huh? Well, no one plays CE in America, and I don't live in Korea, nor do I plan going there anytime soon. So it'll take.
Oh, we got that streaming video.
Huh?
We got that streaming video.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Does Alex even know about that? What we're talking about when we talk about that, or?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Koreans
we talked about it last night.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay, well,
Why they
basically, some guy on SRK has like some streaming CE video right out of an arcade from Korea, and Jinrai supposedly posted in the channel, and a couple of us have been watching it for like the last 2 nights. It happens like after like
it's on 24 hours a day or what?
No, it's like after like 7 p.m. like EST or whatever.
Oh yeah, and you can just watch it continuously, and it just shows like who's playing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and
that's
it's pretty
actually kind of
neat.
cool.
That's actually where we got the idea about doing a stream of our own for games, and that's why I was asking you earlier. Would you mind like if one of these days, you know, you get together with some of the other people who might do a live stream of some casual matches? So, you know, not just for entertainment, but for educational purposes too. You know, and cause
no, I'm down. That'd be fun just to get together and play some you know top players and you know stream that on the web. But yeah, for sure, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because
I like that. I mean, I don't play a lot of CE, but even I can appreciate you know watching some of their players and you know it's definitely one of the more interesting Street Fighters, that's for sure. So you know.
Yeah, and because you know, I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to be CE. I mean, I would rather be Super Turbo than CE.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like if we get a chance to see you, Graham, and we see Nelson and Choi, and you guys playing casual matches and seeing it streamed, you know, we'll get a chance to see why things are done because you know it's just as easy to have a headset on, and you can be on Skype and be playing the game and be like, okay, this is what's going on right now. I lost because I did this, or I won because I did this, or he did that. You know, I mean, people kind of learn the game a little bit, you know, and of course, that'd be fun to look at too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think the EVO West finals were actually like, I mean, I don't know how many people saw that on YouTube, but I think those are some really good matches right there, and that was almost casual play. I mean, me and Graham were both trying really hard to beat each other because, you know, we probably rather beat each other than anyone else, but. You know, it was nice because it's like 4 out of 7 games, so we got to play a lot of games, and you know, I think people enjoyed that, you know, and a chance to see the Ball versus Dawson match, and we had to play at least 5 of those, and you know,
that was just ugly.
Yeah,
it seemed anyway.
Yeah, that's a tough match for Dawson, and it's just you know we played that like a million times, but. Yeah, I guess when you see a match or certain players play against each other in a certain match over and over again, you know, even a player that's not at highest level can understand what's going on. You pick up on it eventually. You know, you know why people are doing a certain move and certain counter. So, yeah, for sure, I'm down to do that. If you guys can get the thing set up, just let me know.
Yeah, because I think it's something that can definitely work out. And again,
It's all Alex's ideas right now.
Right, it's Alex's idea, but I mean, I can't. But I think it's an idea that should be embraced throughout the country. You know, if we can do it, because if Alex gets the server, there's
there's nothing that prevents from someone else from using a capturing card and sending the feed to the server as well. I mean, if it gets it all set up, then anybody that has a capture card and a reasonably powerful enough PC can actually
the resources.
Yeah, have the resources. Yeah, you can actually do it too. And I mean, it could be really fun and educational at the same time. And again, instead of watching Japanese videos and trying to copy everything that we see on Japanese videos, and we'll be able to watch some actual, not just American players playing, but the top American players who have beaten the Japanese. We'll see why they're playing the way that they're playing, and I think it helps build competition. You know, it's the next best thing besides having, you know, Super Turbo online in a lag-free environment, which that's why I did a petition for it. You know.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that more people haven't posted stuff on YouTube. I mean, I know there's some matches up on there, but like, you know, I mean, you would hope that every single match in EVO for this year is on YouTube. They should just make their own section, just upload everything. I mean, that would be awesome. You know, then you just go there anytime and, you know, watch the videos, watch the whole library of different EVO matches for different events, different games, and that'd be great. You know?
Yeah, the stuff that's not on the DVD that everybody always wants to see and stuff that everybody keeps asking for every year.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. You don't need to get the DVD. You know what I mean? Like, they're not really selling the DVD, are they? They're not selling it anymore, are they? Or,
yeah. All I know is about last year's DVD was for download. I think everybody knew that, and you had to donate. But they haven't said anything besides the fact that it's moving faster than it was last year. That's all I heard.
Oh, it's moving faster.
Yeah, and by the way...
Yeah, like what's moving faster? So we don't really know, but we know it's assumingly in development.
Next year for EVO, I wouldn't mind if there was a more dedicated space for practice, for casuals. Secondly, I wouldn't mind if it would be kind of cool if they could stream those matches over online. And I mean, and that would be great. That would be great. I think it'd be good. It'd be a good chance to see some top player play. I mean, so I hope that they take, you know, that something like that is done for next year. I mean, I would love to see, you know, various matches on casual, because you know what, I think you stand to learn more from watching casual matches than you can watching from tournament matches, because at least for casual matches you'll see more things, you'll see more variety, you know, but you won't necessarily see that variety in the tournament, because in the tournament you're playing to win, and that's a little bit different.
Yeah, you are playing to win. You do you know, and you're playing characters that you know are your safe characters, you know, your best characters, and you're not gonna, you know, go out on a limb and pick like Zangief or something like that. And so, but you know, to really enjoy the game, you got to be able to play all those characters. You know, I mean, and I think that's what people want to see. You know, I mean, no one got to see me play my Zangief in EVO, you know, because I wasn't gonna bust them out when there's $5,000 online. But there's like some Zangief players out there that want to learn some new tricks to see how, you know, someone like me would play Zangief, or, you know, be surprised that I even play that character, you know, or, you know, Seagram's E-Honda or T-Hawk or some fun characters like that, and watch a top player play one of those wacky characters and pick up on some good strategies, you know. That'd be cool.
That's another thing about Super Turbo is, like, it looks, I mean, there's tiers in every fighting game, but it's like in Super Turbo, tiers is not that serious in Super Turbo. It's not like it is in Marvel, or it is in let's say CVS2 or Tekken or something, where, you know, one player, you know, dominates all of the matchups, you know. You know, I don't hear that too much. You know, I might be mistaken, but I don't think I am. I mean,
no, you're right. I mean, one character doesn't dominate in Super Turbo. That's what's so good about that game. I mean, you can find some badass player with Cammy that comes out of nowhere and he can take you out, or, you know, someone that plays Fei Long, or someone could surprise you with T-Hawk or DJ. You gotta go with DJ. You know, I mean, you know, DJ. You know, so you know what I mean. But that's because the game's so balanced. Yeah, if you really know what you're doing with a character, you can beat anyone. You really have a chance against any other character. I mean, there's some lopsided matches, but even those, you know, they're still somewhat winnable. You still have a chance, and if, you know, like I feel like, you know, I could get on the cabinet with, you know, get on the machine and start playing Zangief, and, you know, unless like John Choi walks up or Graham comes by, I think I could stay there all day, you know, or at least for a while, because you know, the characters, all of them are good in that game. That's what makes it such a great game.
great. That's good.
You know, I don't really know too much about like CVS or Marvel, but you know, from what I hear, it's kind of, there is like a handful of players, and if you don't play one of them, your chances of winning aren't that good.
I got one last question to ask you, and this is something that I wonder if you ever think about. You know, you've been playing this game since it came out, pretty much, right? You know,
yeah.
Did you ever think that, I mean, well, it came out, what, 93, 94?
I can't even remember.
You know, and
no, it came out earlier than that. What, earlier?
Oh,
yeah.
it came out earlier than that? Okay. And but do you ever think that, you know, 10, 12, 14 years later, you'd still be playing the game? You know, would you be surprised if you got in a time machine and you went to 2006? Damn, we still playing Super Turbo?
No way would I ever think that, you know, I mean, that's like, it was so crazy that, like, they had an event this big for Super Turbo. Like, I mean, I think everyone was surprised. Like, you know, because you kind of play, you get into the game, like, I think when you're a little bit younger and, you know, it's, like, real popular. And it means something because, you know, to be, like, the local arcade champ or to win, like, a Sunnyvale tournament and get, like, 80 tokens or something lame like that, right? But, you know, that's when it's cool. And that's when you're putting all that time and energy. And, you know, I was in like high school, you know, like freshman, sophomore. I had more time on my hands, you know. But you know, I would have no way of even imagining that. Yeah, one day they're gonna have a Street Fighter tournament at a 5-star hotel with Toyota as a sponsor and like thousands of people, and the prize would be like $5,000. I mean, there's no way I even thought it would come close to that. So.
And just to think,
I mean, come on, you know, like, shit.
Yeah, maybe
I thought we checked into the wrong hotel. It's like, is this the right place? Is this the right room? Like, I couldn't believe this shit.
And just think about it. Next year is going to be even more. I mean, because it's the return of Super Turbo, you know. And I mean, so it's even going to be better next year for Super Turbo. So I mean, like, man.
I mean, when me and Graham got to the hotels, I kid you not, like, we were so like blown away by our room, and then like, we're taking the elevator down. We're, like, kind of looking out on the humongous pool that they have there. And we both look at each other, and we're like, man, what have we been doing with our lives?
Yeah, I mean that must have been
nice. So nice. We're like, oh, man, we need to do more of this. Like, man, what have we been doing with our lives, you know? Like, dude, you need to be at the Red Rock at these 5-star hotels. Like, this is living it up, so.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was great. I heard that. I mean, that was great because I saw some of the pictures of it. I'm like, that's like a mansion. It don't look like a freaking hotel room. You know, I
kept telling people. I was like, you know, you're not gonna believe this, but my toilet has like it's a mind of its own. It like opens automatically. I got a 50-inch plasma in my bedroom. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, they're like, wow, where are you staying? You know, I mean, that place was unreal. I mean, it's just sick.
So by the way, how much was the room rate that you got through EVO? Like, what was the cost for that per night?
For what they gave us, it was like dirt cheap. I mean, I think it was like maybe $150 a night, but you know, that room was just ridiculous. I mean, $150 for that room is like a steal. I mean, I can't believe they got it so cheap.
Right.
But I mean, that place was so nice that I didn't go outside. We checked in the hotel. And I swear to you, I'm not exaggerating at all, I didn't walk out the front door of that hotel until we left.
Wow. Did you have tears in your eyes when you was well up your ass when you was leaving the hotel?
I was like, damn, I gotta come back to my normal life. Shit.
I'm like, damn, that's kind of wrong.
No, it's true. I mean, okay, yeah, I gotta go back to. I mean, it's not bad. I live in Alameda. It's a really nice area, but you know, like, dude, I'm leaving paradise, dude. They have like huge casino downstairs, humongous pool. You know, hot chicks walking around all over the place. I mean, everything's just so nice. They had a marble floors, like a bathtub that's like 3 feet deep, like really nice bed, 50-inch plasma screen TV. All I'm doing is playing Street Fighter and eating like buffets every single day. I mean, dude, who would want to leave that shit?
Did you guys use the room service at all?
We didn't use the room service, but what we did do is we had this buffet at the Red Rock. It was like $20, right?
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I kid you not, this is like the sickest buffet I've seen in my life. I mean, they had like everything you can think of. You want Japanese food, you want Chinese food, you want Mexican food, steak, fish, salmon. They had a whole like pie factory there. They had an ice cream parlor. I mean, it was all part of the buffet. It was crazy. We ate there every single meal.
Wow.
I probably dropped like $200 just on food.
Wow, man.
Yeah. No,
wow.
that place it was something else. I mean, if anyone was complaining about that, I don't know what they're smoking. I mean, they must. I don't even want to know where they live, because shit, that place was nice. I felt like, fuck. I mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
By the way, I should tell everyone that's listening to the radio, if you haven't been watching, I guess they announced the price for Nintendo Wii that's coming out. It's coming out on November the 19th, $250. That includes 2 Wiimotes, and it's also going to include
Wiimotes.
Yeah, Wiimotes. And it's going to include Wii Sports. I don't know what that is, but it's going to be coming. It's going to be like 30.
What's it include? No, Wii what?
The Wiimote.
Wii Sports. It's got like tennis, baseball, simple games.
And the first 100,000 people
Sports.
get a Wii Man.
Oh goodness gracious! And it's going to be like a lot of downloadable games. I like to think for a second. Maybe we're going about this all the wrong way. Maybe we should petition Nintendo to like release like a version that's downloadable for the Wii, for Super Turbo. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. We could play with the Wiimote. Think about it. It'd be kind of cool.
The Wiimote.
Yeah, I mean,
here's my take on Nintendo, because, I think, I don't know how old you guys are, but for me, I remember 8-bit Nintendo. You guys remember 8-bit Nintendo?
Of course. I still have mine.
Dude, that was like, when that shit came out, was that like the best thing ever? Dude, Super Mario Brothers, I probably played that shit like, I probably played like 10 hours nonstop the first time I played it. Dude, everyone loved their Nintendo. That was like the game system to have. And it was so popular at the time, like, they had like the laser gun for it. They had the freaking Olympic pad where you could do that thing. They had the power glove. Yep. Remember that shit?
Power
glove pad. Dude, Nintendo was no joke at the time, dude. That was like cutting edge, They even had a movie about it, The Wizard. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
On DVD like any week.
The Power Glove.
Yeah.
The Power Glove so great and everything. I remember all the commercials. You should, you know what, Alex, you should check out YouTube, because all those commercials are up. You should look at some of the old commercials for Nintendo, like the one for Zelda, the one for Mike Tyson.
Now you're playing with Tower.
Yeah, it's like they even got a couple of ones. I think they have a Japanese one for Mike Tyson's Punch Out, with Mike Tyson actually in the commercial. It's like
the thing about it was dude, that game system was so friggin' popular. Nintendo was basically like they owned games at the time. Like that was it, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess to see from where they were to like where they gone is a little disappointing, because I kind of always liked Nintendo, and now they got like they had better controllers in the 80s than they got now. They got the Wiimote now.
Well, you know what?
How do you go from the Power Glove to the Wiimote? What the hell happened? You know what I mean? Like, how do you go back in technology? Like,
you're saying that you think the Wiimote is a bad idea?
I'm saying, like, yeah. How are you going to go from a Power Glove to a remote control? Come on,
man. It's new times.
Like, what's going on with Nintendo? What are their executives thinking? They had it. They were on top of the world. They had everything, and now they got, they're trying to capture the kiddie market. They're not really making any games. Everything has to be like a Nintendo game. They haven't I think their contracts with other game companies have kind of gone down the tubes and stuff like that. So I don't know.
That's what happened.
It's just a little disappointing to see, because I was a big Nintendo fan. I always thought they were the best, but PlayStation and Xbox now are, it's not even a comparison. Nintendo's not even really a game player anymore, unless you're talking about handhelds.
Right. But I think they got it right with this. I think they got it right with the Wii, though. I think that the Wiimote is, I've seen like some of the ways it could be used, and I've seen them use it, and they say it's very intuitive, and it's very fun, and it's very addictive, and they say they'll wait till you play it, because a lot of people used to say the same thing about the glove, I remember a couple of people hating on the glove. I'm like, come on, man, you gonna play a glove? You gonna wear a glove to play a Nintendo game? I'm like, when it comes to
to innovate new stuff. You know, Nintendo's is the king because everything that PlayStation. I mean, look at the PlayStation and look at the Xbox. They got the Rumble feature. Nintendo invented that. You know, they got the oops. Hold on.
But you know what? I don't think Xbox and PlayStation they're kind of innovators, right? You know, they get the hard drive and they do the online thing and stuff like that and the Rumble pad, but they're not that creative. They haven't done anything that crazy. I mean, that's why I'm kind of disappointed because I always thought Nintendo was huge on innovations. I mean, they came out with the Game Boy first. Before people even thought that you could have a handheld video game. I mean, they had the pad that you could run on and stuff for the Olympic Games and the gun for the duck hunt game, and then they had all that stuff, right? And it's like you'd think that they would come out with something so badass now because it's 2006 that it's kind of, I guess it's just a little disappointing.
The motion.
Whoa.
Hey.
Whoa.
Christian.
Whoa.
What's up, man?
Whoa.
What's
Whoa. Get off Nintendo.
What?
Nintendo is innovating. The Wiimote, man.
If
you compare it to the Power Glove and then saying that it's a bad thing, you don't really understand what it is, man. It's like, it's not a fucking Power Glove. It's
the Empire.
It's a 3D wand, man. Like, it can be used for so many things. Not a remote control. It's just an apparatus. Like, don't think of it as a remote. Just think of it as like a 3D device that can be used to do anything in any task. Like, game developers are gonna be happy to use this. Just like with the DS, this is innovation. Like, this is the type of thing. I did an internship at this lab a couple years ago in Iowa, and this is the kind of technology that was there in this 6-sided virtual reality room. And there was the apparatus that was basically the same thing as the Wiimote, and it was called the Wand. And you could program a game there, you could use your C++ and OpenGL for graphics, but it was literally a virtual room where you would go in, and then the wall would shut behind you. You would put on these goggles, and it's like being inside a fucking video game. And it was stereo sound, so you could hear depth. And you had these stereo goggles on, so you would see shit just fucking come in and out of the screen. You could control shit with the wand and just fucking move it around your head, behind you, in front of you. And this is the type of shit that the Wii is trying to bring to you. They're trying to bring video games as close to you as they can, and that's why they're having this kind of interactive controller that's not just the normal left, right, up, down type thing. They're trying to put you in the game, and that's what the innovation is about. Look at the DS, and look at what they did with that, and when
it comes to handhelds, Nintendo, obviously they don't really have any competitors. I mean, what do they have? The PSP? That thing's a piece of shit. I mean, come on.
PSP is a piece of shit, but it has got its place in the market right now, man. You can't deny that.
Yeah, but I think
no company has ever.
I mean, clearly, I think they try to do PSP try to do too much. I think, Nintendo's always kind of dominated when it comes to the handheld market, and I think they're going to continue to dominate. I think PlayStation made a good attempt with their PSP, but I just don't. It's a little too big. It's a little too bulky. You know what I mean? And they try to do a little too much with it, all in one thing.
They probably do a little bit too much with it, taking it as far as the movies and everything. But they couldn't really just try to put out a little gaming system and have it go with their whole brand model and just try to compete with the Game Boy. I don't think, because then what would they do? They would really be trying to hit an oversaturated market instead of trying to tap that market as well as get these other people that never really had a PDA before, never they don't really use laptops or whatever. They might have a computer and they're not really completely tech savvy, but they can get a PSP and a lot of options are actually open to them. I worked at a video game.
Well,
people came.
I mean, it sounds like a good concept, but from a business standpoint, if you look at it, they made a huge mistake because where they could have just competed with Nintendo, and they've done that in the past when they first came out with PlayStation, and I think they would have done well if they just focused on games. Then they got themselves competing with the iPod. They got themselves competing with PDAs and Nintendo all at one time. You're going to lose. It's just not going to work. Because there's better.
Really look at it like that. If you're going to look at it
there's better video playing devices. I got an iPod Video. I think it's awesome. There's better PDAs. How many people have a BlackBerry? And there's better handheld game systems. You know, Nintendo DS. So, you know, when you do that, when you kind of spread yourself a little too thin, which is what they did in their first try, you know, they kind of paid the price for it, and the price was high. You know, I mean, that thing was not cheap. I think that's PSP. I had a couple friends that bought that.
Really kind of killed it.
I mean, you're talking about it like it's done. Is it done? Don't they still make
I don't think it's done. But you know what? One thing about the Wii, the Wii that I like.
I think it's done. It's done.
It's not done.
Unless they do something else, it's done. PSP's done.
Dude, it's not done. They've sold millions and millions and millions of PSPs. They hit many markets, and like it's true that they were like in a way competing with all those items, but if they had just made, you know, a game-only system, then they wouldn't even be able to touch those markets. So, you know, it's like you can take 10% of this market, or you could take 0% of it. You know, like that's what you're looking at as far as that goes. And I mean, they sort of spread themselves thin, but there's really simple functionality outside of the video game things that were like included now. For the types of things that the PSP could do, you know, like play some MP3s, play some movies. Those are the kinds of features that really, like, they're not that heavy. There's not that much for them to include, but that's the kind of thing that a consumer will look at and really say, like, man, like, I'll be on the bus and I can watch a movie. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with it. You know, like, if you can get
but you
one
gotta admit
person
one
like
thing, though, about the movies. That they kind of tanked.
The movies
That's the only thing.
The movies, the UMDs tanked, but you can still put a movie on your memory.
Oh, no doubt. I'm just saying
I
that.
know like tons of people, like the most ghetto people. I know people without a computer that have movies all up and down their PSP.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying you can't do like memstick and stuff, right? But I'm just saying from the market point of view, because I'm just reading reports
and
stuff.
Definitely bomb.
Yeah, like everybody doesn't want, like they're trying to get out of it. Is sell the stock off, you know, get rid of them.
I really think that was the worst thing, like making the new format and then trying to push movies along with it. And like that's Sony, like they're doing it again.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is that what I'm trying to say is that Sony's a damn good brand, and they always release a quality product, right? So I don't know what you know how they got in their head that they thought they couldn't compete with Nintendo if they just went straight for the handheld game and just try to make it a really good, solid handheld video game system that has a lot of really good games that people would play over and over and over again. You know, because I mean, they broke into the video game market with the PlayStation, and real quick with PlayStation 2, they were the top. You know, they were the best. Everyone had a PlayStation 2. You know,
what they did with the PS2, there's like, you know, go on the technical end, like they're like, oh, we're going to put the DVD function on there, we're going to give you surround sound and everything, you know, like,
But the PlayStation
that's why I could
2
see
was
the
a deal.
expansion that they went with in the direction for the PSP. It, like, goes along with the people that are, like, trying to get that PlayStation rather than the people that are like, I like to play games, so I'm going to stick with Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Well, see, the thing about the PlayStation 2 was a deal because at the time that it came out, DVD players were still super expensive. So, I mean, that was one of the things that was in the PlayStation 2's corner, and partially what made it such a great system. And it was a bargain, you know, because you got not just a console, but you got a DVD player. And so the $300, that was great. That was a great price for the system. It's just for the PlayStation Portable, that's not true. You know, as far as the Wiimote is concerned, think about this. You play tennis, right, Alex? You know, think about the full range you make with the tennis bracket. Imagine being able to do that with the Wiimote, because that's
that's what I'm saying is that I got mad respect for Nintendo. I think that you know, seriously, I probably stopped playing video games like on home systems after Super Nintendo. I didn't play anymore. I didn't play PlayStation. I didn't play PlayStation 2. I wasn't in Xbox, any of that stuff. I really stopped playing that, and I just played arcade games. But, you know, I mean, I always thought Nintendo were great innovators, and so I would think, like, you know, if they're going to release this Wiimote, I thought they'd be all the way to, like, virtual reality headsets by this point. You know what I mean? Where you kind of put the headset on and, you know, see, like, a 3D environment.
Well, I mean, they tried that with the Virtual Boy, but all you got was fucking eye cancer out of it.
Yeah, I just want to mention one more thing. I gotta go. The PSP. One last thing about it. It actually sold more in the United States than the DS. It's just that the DS is like destroying it all over the world. The thing about, I mean, like, and one last thing about the UMDs, like, it's a pretty like bold move again on the move of Sony. But if you think about it, like, this is not really that bad on paper to say like, well, we have this new system, and we're gonna put a new format on it. So the fact that we're gonna use this new format, we could go ahead and put movies on it too. But I think that the real flaw in that was the movies. You know, they cost just as much as a regular DVD movie. If they had tried something like this, where instead of like trying to sell a UMD movie for $24.99, they had packaged the UMD movie with a regular DVD and maybe charged $10 more and maybe $15 more. I think that like it could have been a whole different story, and it might have been a complete success. I mean.
Like those little movies are expensive for your PSP.
Yeah, those cost
things
money. Like, people started to buy them, and then it just, you know, it wasn't really worth it, you know. But if they had maybe come packaged with the real DVD movie, you know, everybody has a DVD player, and then, you know, you're not looking at the PSP as like,
yeah, it's like a package.
I mean, you're looking at it as a player, just like a functional player, something that you have. You know, and you can carry it around with you, and you could watch the version of the movie that you could also watch on your big screen. You don't have to like devote all that money to a game. Like, I saw, you know, little kids coming into the store and they're like, man, you know, I got like $35. I could get a movie or a game. You know, I can't really get full. Really want to watch this movie, but I'm just gonna get a game. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the problem with the UMDs is that they're more expensive to make than a DVD.
Yeah,
and that's a big problem because.
I didn't even know that.
You know, I mean, how are you going to market something that costs you a lot of money? You're going to have to pass that on to the consumer, right? And then eventually, you know, if people can get a real DVD for like $5 or whatever, but they got to pay $25 for the UMD, they're not going to buy it, you know, unless you got a lot of money to kick around. So.
Hydra. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Talk to you guys later.
All right, man.
Later, Christian.
Later.
Yeah, I was just thinking that you know, hey, I'll challenge you in some Wii tennis, Alex, because I know you understand.
Hey, yeah, I'll play some of that. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to bag on Nintendo. Like, you know, I think it's, you know, their innovations are back because I've always felt like they were the innovators in gaming. You know, I always felt that they were on the cutting edge. I mean, since the '80s, dude. I mean. Dude, they came out with the Power Glove in the freaking '80s, dude. Like, who does that shit? Like, that's crazy. But it was hella popular. You know, I thought it was a cool thing. So, you know, like, there's no doubt that the Wiimote's probably got some really cool features on it. But, you know, you think that they'd have a little bit more by now. But, you know, maybe all the competition from like Xbox and PlayStation kind of hurt them a little bit. So.
Right, because, you know, I was just thinking that. You know, with this whole thing with the video games, I think it's just like anything. You know, I think that if you were to take someone out of 1984 and you bring the 2006, I think they would be wowed at the cars that we have nowadays. But I think they'd be somewhat taken aback the fact that we don't have flying cars by now. Because I know that when I was little, I thought by the time we get to the new millennium, we'd be having flying cars and we'd be colonizing Mars right about now. You know?
Yeah, I think you and everyone else did. Like, the year 2000 was supposed to be when we were to see the first flying car, but we knew that was bullshit.
Right, you know, and we were all. I mean, we were supposed to be like the Jetsons, you know. We were supposed to be living in these little mini ecosystems on Mars. You know, everyone's seen those movies. I mean, it's kind of cool, you know, but it's not really based in reality. But I agree with you. I think that the Nintendo tried to do too much, you know, not Nintendo. I think Sony tried to do too much with the PlayStation Portable. And also, I think that comparing Nintendo to the PlayStation 3 is like comparing a Porsche 911 Turbo to a Mazda Miata, you know, because, you know, it is, because, okay, Sony has all the horsepower. Like a 911 Turbo has 504 horsepower. It was a twin turbo V8. You know, but at the same time, though, it's the fun factor of it. People who own Miatas, they love their Miatas. I mean, there are people who own Miatas, they own Porsches and Corvettes,
and they own, Dodge Vipers, and they own the Ford 5, but they don't get as much fun out of it as they get out of Miata. Sometimes,
I'd like to try. I mean,
I think they're confusing fun with gas prices.
No, I don't think so. I think that there's, I think that there's sometimes you make things more complicated than they have to be. I mean, the whole point of playing a video game is fun, but Sony's approach, and same thing with Microsoft to an extent, is that, that fun equals graphics. We got to push the envelope on graphics. I don't buy a console because the graphics look good on the game, and I don't really care that the graphics are just like the movie. If I want a movie, I'll go and pay $13 and I'll go watch a movie. But when I'm
I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of credibility to that. Look, Street Fighter's graphics sucks, but for Super Turbo or World War compared to like these new games, but the shit's hella fun. So I mean, that's a good point that you're making.
I mean, it's like with Dead or Alive 4. Look at the dancing titties and so forth. And so I'm like, okay, if I want to see boobies, and I'll just go download some porn. And I mean, and I'll see down
some pixelated, like, blocky, chick trying to take off her clothes.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's
who's gonna get off on that? Yeah, seriously, I mean, it's stupid. If they're trying to do that, but.
I mean, it's just the point that we got to stop. That's the one. I think that's one of the biggest obstacles we would have for attracting the mainstream to 2D fighters in particular is because. Because they won't see anything past. There's no bouncing titties in this game. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's like we became a graphic core society, and it's gonna be a while. It's gonna take a bit to actually get them out of that mind frame. And like, okay, it may not have bouncing titties, but I guarantee you that 5 years from now you'll still be playing that game, and but you maybe play Dead or Alive maybe for 3 months before you get bored of it. And I mean, that's just the truth of the matter.
No, but the thing that we kind of have going, like, in the old games is that, like Street Fighter, Super Turbo or whatever, is that, maybe the graphics aren't as good as, like, the newer games, and it's not as flashy or whatever, but people understand it, You can get someone that sucks or someone that doesn't really play the game that much. You just tell them who's who, and they understand it on a basic level. They know what's going on. Right. They know when someone's getting their ass whooped. Whereas in some of these newer games, dude, I don't know what the fuck's going on, Like, I'm one of the top players in SD, and I tell you, like, when I see, like, Marvel, like, some of those combos, I don't even know what's going on. I don't know whose characters are whose. I don't know who's winning. I have no idea. I can tell you. Like, that's harder than the game itself. I can't even figure out what the hell's going down. So, like, that's the one thing I think that the ST, kind of like our little niche, the thing that we do have is people, even if you're not good at the game, then they can understand it.
Right. And that'd be cool because, like I said, it's an easier game to understand. I use first-person shooters as an example. I don't know if you've ever seen first-person shooter tournaments, but it goes so fast. They get headshots on all these people, but you don't see it because it happens so fast. You see them they do a headshot, they go right back behind the wall, and they do another headshot, they go back behind the wall, or another obstacle or something like that. You can barely see it. In fact, on one video, they have to show you in slow motion what the dude did, because it happened almost within about 3 seconds. He shot like 5 people, and I'm going, okay, and then they show you slow motion, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I had to slow it down frame by frame for you to see everything. And that's why I think where we have the advantage over like first-person shooters, because we can actually show, okay, this dude's getting beat. You can look at his life bar. He's about dead. He's getting beat.
It's simple.
It's simple. It's not very complicated. You can understand that this dude is getting thrown. He's getting comboed. He's getting the shit beat out of him in the story.
And it sounds funny, but people appreciate that. I mean, when you watch UFC, you can be like a hardcore fan that knows like what a triangle is and all that kind of shit, right? Mm-hmm. Or you can be like just the average Joe that is just turn on TV, they're watching UFC and they're like, damn, that guy's beating that other guy's ass. And that's it. That's all you know, but it's entertaining. So, that's I think it's a huge thing compared to a lot of these other games, because I swear to God, half the time I have no idea what's going on fast. I mean, there's some of them where, they're a little bit easier to understand than others, and, but, some of them get a little out of hand sometimes, so. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's craziness, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not really drawn to first-person shooters, because I watched my old roommate used to play it, and I couldn't understand what was going on and everything, and I decided to forget it. You know what I mean? And so, but
yeah, I don't know what the the scene too, like, I don't know if you're gonna have, even for those $100,000 first-person shooter tournaments or whatever, you're in your living room and you won, or maybe you go to like a little, computer center with 20 other guys, but it's not like what we have for EVO this year, which was awesome. Red Rock Casino, huge stage, all the people are actually there, and you get to meet people and stuff like that. It was cool, that's a real event.
One thing I don't like about first-person shooters, and maybe someone can clear this up for me, but there is like some tournaments. Do you know that, like, I didn't even know this, but I didn't understand that, like, some players actually paid to go to some tournaments, because, like, if a tournament happens and this particular group or a player does not show up, then the tournament might as well not happen, because this person is not there, or this group of this clique is not there. I mean, I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah, like, some people actually get paid to go to a tournament, because of their their reputation. And I'm going,
that's weird.
Yeah, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, right? I'm like, when has that ever happened for the fighting game? I mean, shit. Justin Wong might be considered the best in Marvel, but he never been paid to go to a tournament. I don't think he ever get paid. He'll ever get paid to go to any tournament, Maybe if something happened in the future, but I don't see it happening. But I thought that was like,
they just got so many numbers, and I think that, I'm hoping that, there will be like an online version of like ST that's there's no lag or something like that, or Marvel or CVS or any of those other games, Third Strike, because that make things like it's just so much bigger.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, could you imagine? Actually, I wanted to pass this idea by you. I talked to Alex about this. How would you feel if you were like hired by Capcom to like with the assistance for other people, you put out your own tactic strategy guide or a video guide, or maybe that for a particular fee, players will pay you to like coach them. You can play against them online, and then you can tell them what they're doing wrong or what they're doing right, what they need to do to improve their game. I mean, I think that would be something that people would pay for. I mean, especially if you got the credentials. I mean,
I think that would be cool. I mean, I think that like a book and a DVD, kind of like how Daigo did. I mean, those things are useful, especially for like United States. Like, we could do something like that. That'd be awesome. I think that I mean, you get a group of good American players together. We can drop some serious knowledge on how to get better at the game, and kind of the do's and don'ts, and what traps you don't want to fall into. And there's never been kind of this, like I've never seen it, at least, kind of like an educated opinion on, here's what the Japanese do, here's what you don't want to copy from them. Mm-hmm. These are the things that you don't want to learn. Or yes, this does work in the game, it's possible to do this, but here's why you don't want to do it. I haven't seen too much of that. I've seen a lot of like, here's what the Japanese do, and like, you want to copy it. I've seen that, like, oh, here's what's possible in the game, so if you can't do it, you're making a mistake. But, it would be nice it would be really cool to get together and do something like that, whether it's a book or a video or whatever, where you can kind of give the average player, drop some knowledge on them and show them what they could really do to make them better players, like actually better at the game. They could win more matches and tournaments and beat the people that they've been losing to.
Another idea was like for the training mode. There was a training mode for like Virtua Fighter's been known as having one of the best training modes. Could you think about a training mode where not only do they teach you how to like, you could do, not only can you practice the combos on a dummy, but maybe you have like certifications for certain levels. Like like you can like if you know how to do basic combos and stuff, you get a certification for the D level. But if you can do reversals or tech throws, and then you get at the C level, And then, like, if you can do, like, if you get out of certain traps or something, and, like, as more, the higher the certificate is, the more things you're able to do. And, like, it can get really technical if we want it to be. It can be as technical as what they program it to be, you know. Maybe if you're playing Ryu and you got a bad matchup, I don't know what's a bad matchup for Ryu, but if you're able to not do this or to be able to accomplish a certain task, then you should get your certification. And then once you finish all the certifications, they'll move you onto a special area where you can compete, you know, for let's say $100,000 grand prize. Because if you think about it, imagine how the competition would be a lot better because you just don't have random people going up and just playing the game. If you want to, now I'm not saying they can do tournaments for other prizes all along. You know, you're not alienating the people by doing it this way. But for people who want to play for some serious money, then then they got to be able to play the game. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about something like that?
See. Well, you know, I mean, I think what I've been hearing from a lot of people, and you know, it's like someone will say, hey, look, you know, I'm from Timbuktu or whatever, you know, like I got no one to practice against, you know, like I'm in the middle of nowhere, or there's no good players around here. How do I get better at the game? I mean, how many people, you know, have that problem when they're trying to get good at one of these fighting games? There's a lot of guys out there like that, and I mean, really, I think you kind of addressed it. Is that they need a better training mode. Training mode sucks, and like, you know, practicing against the computer, if you have to kind of know what you're doing to improve your game. And so I might be able to practice against the computer and make myself better, and you know, a little bit, but the average player, you know, they're not sure what to do. And I think that if you did have a good training mode and you had some pros and some experts create that training mode with the idea that it would help the average player get better at the game and actually get better, I mean, that'd be awesome. Then you wouldn't have these questions like, oh, you know, I have no competition, so I'm not good at the game. You know, if you programmed it in a way that, you know, that wasn't true, then you could be from anywhere in the United States and you could still have a awesome game. You know, you could still be a top player.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, because when I was talking to Sterling in an interview, he was saying that one of the things that Street Fighter is lacking is a really, really good training mode and a really, really good, first player mode, and I agree.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, think about it. I mean, how hard would it be for me to, you know, me or some other players to go over there and say, okay, here's how a normal human opponent, here's how a top level, you know, real human player plays Ryu, or plays Blanco, or plays Hondo, or, you know, Dalsum. And here's how you want to program it to mimic that. So if they can beat that computer opponent, it's just like beating like me, or it's like beating like Valle, or it's like beating, you know, a top Ryu. You see what I mean? So that hasn't been done. Instead, you know, the computer's programmed to, like, walk up to you, and if you press a button, it uppercuts. If you don't press a button, it throws you. That's not real practice.
Right.
You know, like, that's kind of stupid. So, yeah, if they just spent some time to do more of that, probably wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, because I always wonder why, you know, maybe someone can answer this. Why for fighting games, have they not been able to develop a CPU that adapts to your playing style? Well, you know, I mean, I think that, to me, it should be. It would be really cool. I mean, because that means that the computer could be as hard as you make it. You know, if you're really good, if you want to abuse something, then the computer will find a way to get around that abuse. You know, and I mean, as long
you could have even different styles. You could have, like, you know, practice against John Choi style Ryu, or practice against you know, Valle style Ryu, or Daigo style Ryu. I mean, you could have all that. And I mean, the sad thing is the answer for, like, why the computer's always been shitty in all those games, or like way too difficult or unrealistic. It's really a simple answer. It's because you've never had any good players help create that. It's always been programmers.
Mm-hmm.
And these programmers, I've actually played against some of the Japanese programmers. When Super Turbo first came out, there was a group of Japanese programmers that came to the United States when ST was on prototype, and I played against them. They sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the guys that were, you know, responsible for programming the computer, for doing all that stuff, and it's just that they didn't know any better. So I mean, certainly I think that when you're making one of these fighting games now, especially if it's a sequel to like a previous fighting game, you got to get some top players in there, and you know they have to give their input on like the practice modes, the training modes, and all that stuff. Otherwise, the game's just not as good.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's true. It would be something that I think that hopefully that it will get it done eventually, because I think it will help immensely for people who don't have competition nearby where they can just practice.
Yeah. Sure. Well, I guess we'll just have to hope.
Yeah, hope for the best.
Yeah. See if Capcom. Yeah. Maybe Capcom will. Hey, they can fly me out there anytime they want. I'll take a free trip to Japan. I'm sure Graham's down too, so.
That would be cool. By the way, where is he? He was supposed to be on tonight. I was hoping to talk to him a bit.
Yeah, no, I try to get him on. Graham's, I don't know, he's
shy.
A little shy. He doesn't like talking.
Oh, all right. Well,
he likes typing. Likes typing a little more. He's more of a forum person. I'm more of a, I talk more, type less.
Man, I mean, but still, first of all,
I'll try to get him on next time we do maybe when you get it, when you go over to the other station, see if I can get Graham to make an appearance and come out on the radio. Cool.
Well, that'd be good. That'd be great. Well, first, let me thank you for actually taking the time out for the last 3 hours, believe it or not. Unfortunately for the
I gotta cut loose pretty soon. I gotta get some sleep. I got work tomorrow.
Yeah, and unfortunately, people, my Audacity program just crashed. So actually, I was not able to record this conversation. I did record it, but I was not able to export it. It crashed on me right when I was interviewing him in the middle of the interview about 20 minutes ago, and I lost it. So for the people that tuned in, you're very fortunate because you got a chance to hear a very good interview. And hopefully this will just be the first of many. So.
Yeah, well, hey, thanks for having me on your show, and I look forward to being on it again when you hook up with other radio station that
TSN Central. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'll let you know how that's going, and I'll keep you apprised of the situation, and hopefully.
Yeah, let me know, because it seems like it'd be a pretty cool thing, but. Yeah, in the meantime, just hit me up every now and then. I'd be more than happy to come on and, talk some shit with some of the old school players.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah. All right, dude. You take it easy.
All right,
I'm out of here.
Good one.
All right.
All right, bye.
You lost how much of the interview?
All of it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I lost all of the interview. And
damn.
Now the program is saying it's recoverable, but I have to do some research on it because I don't know how it's going to be recoverable. I'll do some research, but yeah, I lost the entire interview.
Damn. Oh well.
But hopefully, but that was a great interview though, nonetheless.
Yeah.
So, now I'm hearing conflicting reports. One says 200, one says 250 for the Wii.
One's also a Japanese release, though.
Oh, okay.